They bound me before the throne. But the alien queen stood when I spoke. The metal chains cut into Amy's wrists as the guards dragged her through the crystal corridors of the Zephyrian palace. The alien beings around her whispered in their musical language while their large violet eyes tracked her every movement. She had been captured 3 days ago when her scouting ship crashed on their world, and now she was being brought before their queen for judgment. The throne room doors opened with a sound like singing wind. Amy lifted her head and saw the most beautiful creature she had ever witnessed. The Zephyrian queen sat on a throne made of living crystal that pulsed with soft blue light. Her skin was pale silver and seemed to glow from within. Forearms moved gracefully as she studied reports from her advisors. Her face was almost human, but her features were sharper, more elegant. 2 sets of eyes blinked slowly as Amy was forced to her knees before the throne. So this is the human who destroyed 3 of our patrol ships. The queen spoke in perfect English, her voice like music. Amy felt her heart racing. The reports had been wrong. She had not destroyed any ships. She had been running from something else entirely. Your Majesty, Amy said, lifting her chin despite the chains. I did not attack your people. The court fell silent. Every Zephyrian in the room stared at her with shock. A human prisoner was not supposed to speak without permission. The queen's 4 eyes focused on Amy with sudden interest. You dare speak without being asked, one of the advisors hissed. Execute her now. But the queen raised one of her 4 hands. The advisor stepped back. Amy noticed something strange. The queen was studying her face with curious intensity. What is your name, human? The queen asked. Amy Carter. Your Majesty, I am a pilot from the human colony ship, New Hope. Amy Carter. The queen repeated the name slowly. Tell me, Amy Carter, why should I not have you executed for the destruction of my ships? Amy took a deep breath. This was her only chance. Because I did not destroy them, Your Majesty. Something else did something that followed me here. The queen leaned forward in her throne. Explain. 3 days ago, my ship was attacked by machines, dark metal creatures that consume everything in their path. I barely escaped, but they followed me here. They destroyed your patrol ships, not me. I crash-landed trying to warn you. The advisors began arguing loudly in their musical language, but the queen silenced them with a gesture. She stood up from her throne and Amy gasped. The queen was over 8 feet tall and moved with fluid grace that seemed impossible. These machines you speak of, what do they look like? Like spiders, made of black metal with red eyes. They strip planets bare, eating everything organic. The human colonies call them devourers. We have been running from them for months. The queen walked down the steps from her throne until she stood directly in front of Amy. Her forearms moved in complex patterns as she spoke. You are telling the truth. I can sense it in your voice. But why should I trust a human? Your species is known for deception. Amy met the queen's gaze with all 4 of her eyes. Because in 6 hours, those machines will reach your outer cities, and when they do, everyone on this planet will die unless we work together. The throne room erupted in chaos. Advisors shouted at each other. Guards moved restlessly. The queen remained perfectly, still studying Amy's face. Then she did something that shocked everyone in the room. She knelt down until she was at Amy's eye level. What do you propose, Amy Carter? Amy felt her chains loosen slightly. My ship has weapons designed to fight the Devourers. If your people can repair it and give me a squadron of your fastest fighters, we might be able to stop them before they reach the surface. And why would you help us? You are our prisoner. Amy smiled for the first time since her capture. Because that is what humans do. Your Majesty, we fight the darkness even when we are afraid, even when we are alone. The queen stared at her for a long moment. Then she stood and spoke in a voice that carried to every corner of the throne room. Release her. Chains. The guards hesitated. The advisors protested. But when the queen repeated her command, they obeyed. Amy rubbed her wrists as the metal bonds fell away. You will have your fighters, Amy Carter, and I will fly with you. Your Majesty, an advisor, cried, you cannot risk yourself for a human. The Queen turned to face her court. This human risked everything to warn us. She crashed her ship, she accepted capture, and she stands before us speaking truth when she could have stayed silent. That is courage I have not seen in many of my own people. Amy stood up slowly, her legs shaking from being bound so long. Thank you, Your Majesty. Call me Leerily, the Queen said with what might have been a smile. And Amy Carter, show my people what human courage looks like. 2 hours later, Amy sat in the cockpit of her repaired ship surrounded by 12 Zephyrian fighters. The alien vessels moved like liquid light through space, responding to their pilots. Thoughts rather than controls, Leerily flew beside her in a craft that seemed to be made of pure crystal. Contacts on approach vector. Amy announced into her comm, 37 Devourer ships moving fast. We see them, Leerily replied. My pilots are ready. The battle was unlike anything Amy had ever experienced. The Zephyrian fighters danced through space while her human ship provided heavy fire support. The Devourers were fast and deadly, but they had never faced opponents who could think and feel and hope. One by one, the machine ships fell. But there were so many. Amy watched her fuel gauges drop and her ammunition counters tick toward zero. Leerily, she called, I am almost out of power. Then we make our last stand together. Amy Carter. The final Devourer ship turned toward the planet's surface. Amy pushed her engines past their safety limits and rammed it head-on. The explosion lit up space like a small star. When Amy woke up, she was in a medical bay on the Zephyrian homeworld. Leerily sat beside her bed, all 4 arms holding different gifts from her people. You saved us, the Queen said softly. Amy tried to sit up. We saved each other, Your Majesty, Leerily, the Queen corrected with a smile. And Amy Carter, you are no longer a prisoner. You are an honored friend of the Zephyrian people. Amy looked out the window at the crystal city below. Ships from both species flew together in formation. She had come here as a refugee and prisoner. Now she was something else entirely. She was a bridge between 2 worlds, and that was how humanity would always be remembered among the stars. Not as conquerors or destroyers, but as the species who stood up when darkness came calling. The ones who fought for others even when they had nothing left to lose. The Queen had stood when Amy spoke, and in that moment everything changed between their peoples forever.